Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to see about ECG leads and access system and cardiac vectors. So let's start off with the ECG leads. So ECG leads is connected based on the principle of Eitinhoven triangle, where a triangle is formed using the human body with the heart at the center and the electrical activity of the heart is measured. So basically ECG leads are of three types. The first one is limb leads, augmented limb leads, and the chest leads. Chest leads. So we'll start off with limb leads. So coming to limb leads, so we basically form a triangle using three electrodes. So there is a triangle formed, the Eitinhoven triangle, by connecting right arm, left arm and left foot through various terminals. So let's see how this is done. So first we connect right arm to the negative terminal and left arm to the positive terminal. This forms the lead 1. Then for the second lead, right arm is in the negative terminal and left foot is connected to positive terminal, and this forms lead 2. And for the lead 3, left arm is connected to the negative terminal and left foot is connected to the positive terminal, forming lead 3. So after saying that, we get to know that right arm is always a positive or is a negative terminal, left foot is always a positive terminal, and left arm varies with positive or negative electrode. So here we measure the electrical activity in various terminal, where lead 1 measures between right arm to left arm, and lead 2 between left arm to right arm to left foot, and lead 3 is to left arm to left foot. So this is how we measure the electrical activity. This is the limb leads. So the electrical activity measured by the standard limb leads is very minimal, and the deflections are very small. So to augment this, we use something called as augmented leads. Here the limb leads were bipolar leads. We had two polarities, whereas augmented leads are unipolar leads. Augmented limb leads are unipolar leads. So here also we form a triangle using the limbs, the same limbs. Here the letter V stands for unipolar and A stands for augmented. So here the triangle is formed between right arm, left arm and left foot. So here the augmented lead is a positive terminal. So in example, for in case of AVR lead, the right arm is the positive terminal. Right arm we get the positive terminal, and the current difference is measured between the other two arms with potential difference between the indifferent electrodes. That is, for example, in AVR the positive terminal is connected to AVR, and here the electrical difference between AVL and AVF is detected, is calculated. So here in limb leads we got the direction, the current direction was in lead arm in this way, lead 2 in this way, and lead 3 was in this way. Whereas here the electrical activity is measured between these two indifferented electrodes. So AVR will be between these two leads, and for AVL it will be between AVR and AVF, and for AVF it will be between AVR and AVL. This is how we get the augmented leads. So these are augmented leads. Now coming to chest leads. Chest leads, we have 6 chest leads. All the chest leads are unipolar. So V1, the first chest lead, is placed on 4th intercostal space right to sternum. Second chest lead is connected to 4th intercostal space left of the sternum, and V3 is the third electrode. It is placed between second lead and the 4th lead. 4th chest lead is connected near 5th intercostal space in mid clavicular line. 5th lead is connected in anterior axillary line, and 6th lead in mid axillary line. So this is how chest leads are connected. So one more thing, the limb leads measure the electrical activity of the heart in frontal plane, whereas chest leads measure the electrical activity in the horizontal plane. So let's see how does this leads measure, where does this leads measure the electrical activity in the heart. Consider this as a heart. So I'll be showing various electrodes. This is AVR, this is AVL, this is lead 1, lead 2, lead 3 and AVF. This is how the limb leads are, limb and augmented limb leads are connected to the heart, and this is how they measure. So here AVL measures the electrical activity in the lateral wall. So this measures the electrical activity in the lateral wall. Even L1 measures the activity in the lateral wall, whereas AVR measures the activity in right ventricle, right side. So this lateral wall is nothing but left ventricle. AVR measures in right ventricle, whereas these 3 leads measures the activity in inferior wall of the heart. Inferior wall. This L3, lead 3, also contributes to a part to right ventricle along with the inferior leads. So this is with the limb leads, and when it comes to chest lead, V1 and V2 measures the right ventricle, septum and posterior wall of the heart. V3 and V4 measures the anterior wall of the heart, and V5 and V6 measures lateral wall of the heart. So this is how different electrodes measure different electrical activity in different parts of the heart. So to know the pathology, to locate the pathology, we will see which lead is abnormal. So based on the abnormal leads, we get to know in which area of the heart the pathology is there. So this is how ECG leads are connected. Okay. The second topic for today's session is access system and cardiac vectors. So we'll start off with the access system and cardiac vectors. So access system is nothing but the direction of the movement of current that occurs in the heart. So to know this, we have to first plot the axis system. We have to plot the axis system, and on the axis we have to interpret the cardiac vector. So this vector direction gives us to know about the direction of the electrical activity occurring in the heart. So for this we need the help of two leads, that is limb leads and augmented leads. So here we'll draw the diagram: right arm, left foot, and the augmented leads: AVR, AVL, and AVF. So here in lead 1, the electrical activity is in this direction. So the axis system for lead 1 will be here. Similarly, this is lead 2 and this is lead 3. So lead 2 and lead 3. So we have got the axis system for standard limb leads. Now we'll come to augmented leads. As I told, in augmented lead, suppose an AVF, the electrical activity is measured between these two electrodes, so the direction is here. Similarly, this is for AVL and this is the direction of current for AVR. So we'll bring this to axis system now. AVF, AVL, AVR. So these are the axis system of limb leads and augmented limb leads. So we have to superimpose these two axes so that we'll get the cardiac axis system. So I'll superimpose now. AVF, AVL, AVR. Now lead 1, lead 2, lead 3. So this is the complete axis system of the heart. Here each line is divided into parts by different degrees or millivolts. So starting with lead 1, this is 0, plus 30, plus 60, plus 90, plus 120, plus 150, plus or minus 180, minus 150, minus 120, minus 90, minus 60, and minus 30. So these are the different degrees in which axis system is divided. So now this is the axis system of the heart. Now shall see how the heart looks. So this is how the heart is located. So this is the apex of the heart and here is your SN1. So this will be the normal axis system of the heart. So normal axis system of the heart is like this. So so here, this is how the normal heart looks. So now coming to the various degrees which contributes to various axes, we'll see the normal axis. Normal axis is between minus 30 to plus 100 millivolts. That is, minus 30 is here, from here to 100 here. This is the normal axis. For all practical purposes, like for solving MCQs, we consider plus 90 as the upper limit. Now coming to right axis deviation. Right axis deviation is from plus 100 till plus or minus 180. This is right axis deviation. That is plus 100 to plus or minus 190 millivolts. This will be right axis deviation, and left axis will be minus 30 to minus 90 will be left axis deviation. Minus 30 to minus 90 millivolt will be left axis deviation, and this remaining part of minus 90 to plus or minus 180 will be called as extreme axis or northwest axis deviation. Extreme axis or northwest axis deviation is from minus 90 to plus or minus 180 millivolts. So these are the various degrees contributing to various axis like normal axis, right axis, left axis for extreme axis deviation. So now let's see how do we get to know what is the right axis, or what is the, how do we get to know on a ECG, how do we get to know what is the axis of this ECG. So for that we have to take the help of two perpendicular leads. So two perpendicular leads should be taken for interpreting a cardiac vector. So for example, if we take lead 1, the perpendicular lead to lead 1 would be AVF. So it is lead 1 and AVF will be a pair to interpret the cardiac vector. Or if you are taking lead 2, the perpendicular vector to this lead 2 would be AVL. The perpendicular lead here will be AVL. So it is lead 2 or AVL. And if you take lead 3, the perpendicular here is AVR. So it will be lead 3 AVR. These are the set of perpendicular leads which we will be requiring to interpret the cardiac vector. But for all practical purposes, we use lead 1 and AVR. These are the standard leads considered to see the to interpret the cardiac vectors. So let's see how do we interpret the cardiac vector. So for it, I'll draw the axis system again. AVR, AVF, lead 1, AVL, lead 3. So these are the vectors with 0, plus 30, plus 60, plus 90, plus 120, plus 150, plus or minus 180, minus 150, minus 120, minus 90, minus 60 and minus 30. So here this is the axis system. So consider so to know the vector, we have to take the QRS complex. QRS complex is the ventricular activity. So using QRS complex, we'll interpret the cardiac vector. So for example, take a QRS wave, QRS. Here they consider this as a ECG paper. This is on the ECG paper. So all these waves are negative waves and these are positive waves. Here consider we have to calculate the number of boxes in Q, R and S separately. For example, Q, consider it is to be minus 2. Q is a negative wave, so it is minus 2. It is involving two boxes, two small box, to minus 2. R is something like plus 9 and S is minus 4. So we have to sum this up now. So plus 9, 4 and 2 is 6. So plus 9 minus 6, that gives us plus 9 minus 6, that gives us plus 3. Plus 3. Okay. So another thing, this is as I told, we have to consider two perpendicular leads. So this QRS complexes we have taken from lead 1. So lead 1 QRS complex is this value, so the sum is plus 3. Now the other one would be AVF. We have to go to the AVF lead. In there we have to calculate the QRS complex. For example, take Q as minus 3, R as plus 9 and S as minus 3. So here this would sum up to plus 3. This is also plus 3. So now we have to plot these values on the axis system. So as I told, lead 1 is plus 3. So this is lead 1. So consider this as a graph. So this whole thing is lead 1. So this starts with 0 here. So all these values will be plus 1, plus 2, plus 3 and so on. And here it will be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and so on. This is how the lead 1 is. And when you come to AVF, so same, this is the AVF line. So here is the 0. So plus 1, plus 2, plus 3 and so on. Here it is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and so on. So here according to our calculation, lead 1 is plus 3. So lead 1 is plus 3. So you mark a point here. Then AVF is also plus 3. So you mark a point here. Now you bring the 2 pointer. So here is the joining point. So the cardiac vector is from the center. It is moving in this direction. So the vector is in this direction. So this is somewhere between plus 30 to plus 60. Somewhere in between plus 30 to plus 60. So the vector is between plus 30 to plus 60. Take it as something like plus 50. So plus 50. As we told here, plus 50 comes between this normal axis. That is, it is between this minus 30 to plus 90. Between this minus 30 to plus 90 or plus 100. So this is a normal axis. So this is a normal axis of the heart. So this is how we interpret the cardiac vectors. But in case we have got the images, if the images is given directly and you are not able to calculate the box or this axis system, for in MCQ purposes you cannot plot this graph and do all these things. This I have told you for the theoretical purposes. For such purposes, we'll take some arbitrary values. For example, you see the wave. This is the wave, one wave. This is another wave. This is another wave. So see the wave. This wave, majority of the waves are positive. Even here, majority of the waves are positive. In this, the majority of wave is negative. So in such condition, we directly consider plus and minus without considering any values. For example, I'll show you how it works. See, here the first graph, lead 1 and AVF. Here in lead 1, the wave is a negative wave. And in lead AVF is a positive wave. So I'll draw the axis here. So AVF is here, lead 1 is here. Take just lead 1 and AVF. So lead 1 is a negative wave. So it comes somewhere here, this part. And AVF is a positive wave. So it comes here. So this vector is encroaching or occupying this part of the quadrant. As I told, this part of the quadrant is right axis deviation because it is away from plus 90. So this is right axis deviation. This ECG tells us about right axis deviation. So that is how we interpret various graphs. So now I'll show it here. Lead 1 and AVF. If lead 1 here, as I told, as in the previous example, lead 1 was negative wave and AVF was positive wave. So it was encroaching this quadrant. So it is right axis deviation. Right axis deviation. So as a thumb rule, if lead 1 is positive and AVF is positive, lead 1 is positive here, AVF is positive here. So this quadrant, it is normal axis. Normal axis. Now in this example, as I told, lead 1 is negative, AVF is positive. Lead 1 is negative and AVF is positive. It is taking right side. So it is right axis deviation. Now let's see. Lead 1 is positive, AVF is negative. Lead 1 is positive here, AVF is negative here. AVF is negative, lead 1 is positive. So it is involving this quadrant. So this is left axis deviation. Left axis deviation. And when both are negatives, lead 1 is negative, also AVF is negative. It is involving this quadrant. So it is extreme axis or northwest axis deviation. Extreme axis or northwest axis deviation. Another thing, in right extreme axis or northwest axis deviation, AVR will be a positive wave. Usually AVR is a negative wave, whereas in northwest axis or right axis, extreme axis deviation, AVR will be a positive wave. Now while solving MCQ, the problem comes when when the normal axis overlaps with left axis deviation, because as I told here, from minus 30 to 90 it is normal axis, whereas away from the minus 30 it is left axis deviation. Now based on this thing, for example here, based on this, you see it is involving this quadrant. So now the confusion is whether this is normal axis or it is left axis. So in such condition, we have to follow a rule where consider it is in overlapping. There is overlapping of normal axis and left axis deviation. So now see for lead 2. This was in lead 1 and AVF which we took. Now go and see, look for lead 2. If the lead 2 wave is positive, if the lead 2 axis is positive, then the current is moving towards lead 2. Okay, current is moving towards lead 2, so it is normal axis. As here, see lead 2, and lead 2 is positive means, so positive wave will be here, positive wave will be here in this part, so it is a normal axis. If lead 2 has a negative wave, so this is lead 2, so negative wave will be here. If it is there, it is moving away from the lead 2. If lead 2 is a negative wave, it is moving away from the lead 2, so it is left axis deviation. So this is how we interpret the cardiac vectors in different pathologies and electrical activity. So now let's see some ECGs and interpret. So first one I already told, this was a right axis deviation. Right axis deviation because there was a negative wave, lead 1 was in negative side and AVF was positive, so it is right axis deviation. Now let's go to the second image. So second image here, this is the cardiac vector. So lead 1 is a positive wave, lead 1 is positive wave somewhere here. Then see AVF, AVF is a negative wave, so majority is a negative wave, so AVF is negative, so it is here. So it is encroaching this region. So it is left axis deviation. As I told, there could be confusion between this minus 30 thing where it is overlapping with normal and left axis deviation. So now look for lead 2. See for lead 2. Lead 2 is a negative wave. So lead 2 is a negative wave. The current, this is lead 2. So current is moving away from lead 2 somewhere here. So it is left axis deviation. If this was positive, then it was normal axis deviation. Let's see here. So lead 1 is negative somewhere here, and see AVF is also negative. So here, so this is extreme axis or northwest axis deviation. Then coming to another, so lead 1 is positive, so somewhere here. Then AVF is positive, so here, so this is in this quadrant, so normal axis. This ECG is of normal axis. So this is how we have interpreted the different axis and waves, different electrical activity of the heart. So further, this helps us to know the various pathologies in the heart and what is the axis deviation of the heart, whether it is ventricular hypertrophy or right ventricular or left ventricular hypertrophy, and rest other pathologies. Thank you.